to that mineral only. I'm sorry, to that natural expansion there. But there are 4 turrets to protect that, so not really gonna manage much there. No second refinery up yet for Light. He's just sitting on 1 gas so far. Soulkey just now getting his 3rd. No mining there yet whatsoever, but he's keeping on constant pressure. Now we see Quano looking at it like, hey, this guy's aggressive. I like him. Also have a few Hydras out in the field. I assume those are going to be for workers. Mutalisks just keeping those medic marines at a very low count. Very large number of Mutalisks in the air, so they can really put on a lot of pressure. Fight those medic marines toe to toe, or rather wing to toe, I guess. Light's still managing to keep a decent amount of medic marines out there, but really has to be careful not to lose force on the side. Picking off an overlord there, has 1 single tank to move out to pick off the sunken colonies. Soulkey instantly spotting this, very smartly putting down 1 creep colony at the front. That's going to force the tanks to siege on that before it manages to siege on the sunken colonies at the back. Mutalisks is still going to come in from the back of these medic marines, managing to pick several of those off. Light really has to keep very careful, has to reinforce, moving out with that 1 single attack, has an CV alongside to put down turrets. Tank instantly, no, Tank's just going to manage to siege right on top of those sunken colonies at the back. More reinforcements coming in with a tank, a fire bat, and a few medic marines as well. Mutalisks going to try to fire, but the medic marines are in pretty good position. Also going to be a turret. Some lurkers coming in from the back. Going to catch a few of those medic marines. Didn't manage to do too much, but the Mutalisks instantly moving back, catching a lot of those. Second tank coming in to start sieging up against this. We're going to see whether Light has enough forces of this. He does have a pretty large grouping, and he's really whittled down the Mutalisk count. Those turrets really helping at this point. Light doing a very good push here. Soulkey now in a lot of trouble. Light, despite some heavy economic losses to start off, really is putting on a lot of pressure. Sunken colonies are all coming down. Soulkey with nothing but a few workers at the back. Despite the fact that he does have an extra base now, really getting shelled at the front. There are Mutalisks in there, but not really feeling very confident to move against these tanks because there's definitely a decent amount of medic marines. They're just going to move in close. Firebat leading the way. Tanks are going to be left behind. We're going to see whether this Mutalisks is going to be enough to finish off. Some Zerg is coming in from the long side as well. No second calls to defend, but I think Light might actually lose the rest of his force. He only has a few marines there, a few medics to support as well. Mutalisks are going to be, a lot of the Mutalisks are going to go down, but they're still going to be able to finish this off. 1 single Firebat. No, the Mutalisks actually all die. 1 Firebat right on top of the drone lines, killing everything. The Firebat getting a bunch of kills before he loses his life. 3 tanks now shelling the front. Light putting in a lot of pressure. Also has a few forces attacking the base of the low right-hand position, doing some damage there. Soulkey being forced to fight on multiple fronts and losing all of his Mutalisks. Has a few lurkers, and Zerg is now going to try to come in this and break this apart. Medics are the only thing that the Light has to block at this point. 4 of these tanks, Zerg is coming in very close. Only a few marines at the back, but I think that might be enough. 1 single tank goes down. 1 tank in very critical positions, very critical health-wise, still might go down. Some lurkers coming in from the back. This might be the critical attack. We're going to see all the tanks go down. Nothing but I think 1 marine and a bunch of medics sitting there. 1 marine being blocked off. The turrets are all going to go down, but there are more tanks and more forces running straight toward the base. So Light going to try to keep on the pressure. He still has the 2 bases pumping. He should have managed to get his economy decent by now. Still has a lot of those medics alive. So any marines that come in to reinforce, they're going to be finding themselves with enough medics to blockade for them. Also dropship in play now for Light, so he might be thinking of dropping right on top of the main. So some Zorgans going to come and run out right now. Going to try to get a surround to the tank. They're going to manage to pick that off. Tank's going to go down. Lurkers coming alongside as well. Not nearly enough forces for Light now. I think that fully aggressive action from him, I'm not sure if that was it or not. He's going to scan inside the main spot. Very few defensive forces there at all. So he's going to come in with that dropship. He's going to... Let's see what he manages to do. Scourge coming in. Oh, he manages to save the dropship. I think, never mind. I think there was 2 Scourge very close together. He's just going to go for another drop right off the bat as medic marines coming in right from behind those mineral lines with the 1 single medic to support. So the very least going to stop some mining. I'm not sure whether he went for another drop to support this or not. And not quite sure if he has enough. He's doing a good job of hiding those forces behind the mineral lines, but it's not going to survive for too long. Going to go for yet another drop. There's a Defiler Mando being just now coming up for Soulkey, but Light's still doing a pretty good job of keeping the constant pressure up. Has even more medic marines running out now. Lost his initial grouping. Meanwhile, just going to start off by finishing off this Defiler Mound. So that's a good start. Didn't even force a cancel on it. Scourge coming in, so not going to be initial reinforcements. Light's only going to have this to play with. These 5 Marines, 5 Marines and 2 medics to try to do some sort of damage, but I just don't think it's going to be quite enough. More Zergans than they can really deal with at this point. More Scourge now being produced just to prevent any more dropship play. There are first signs also on the funnel out for Light. He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job of keeping up this constant pressure, but I gotta question a little bit how he wants to follow this up because he doesn't have a very strong economy. Really, he has those 2 bases mining. but he just never has really a very large army. He's always being forced to run the reinforcements. He's yet again going to put pressure at the front. Does have that one single science, so that's going to help him. He's going to start up a raid in, putting down defensive matrix on the initial Marine just to take the lurker hits. Did lose more Marines there than he would have wanted, but now the tanks are going to be able to pressure. There are Nidus canals in place, but the tank is still going to be able to shell that, put that down. Hydralisks out there haven't been turned into lurkers. Yeah, let's see the science. Whether the science goes down, whether it's Scourge do get taken out. Still at one single D Matrix Marine. Natural expansion of Soulkey is now coming down. So Light putting on very good pressure. Tanks, I think, still shelling at the top there. Some of those drones might have actually been caught by some siege tank fire as we're trying to run for their lives. But now at this point, Soulkey's going to be forced back right inside of his base. He still has his low right, but he's only mining on 2. Light's been mining on these 2 bases for quite a while. Just now thinking, put down his 5th barracks. Wow, I think he's just now putting down his 5th. Might be his 6th, but I think that's his 6th. His 5th, I'm sorry. I think that's his 5th. I thought might have been his 6th, but I think it is his 5th. So 3 tanks alongside, a couple of scientists, I think. Yeah, with decent amount of medic marines now penetrating into the main. The fire mound's going to go down momentarily. There are some lurkers there, but they're going to get spotted thanks to the science hustle support. And Soulkey simply not enough forces is producing Scourge to try to take those science hustles out, because then he knows he's going to be in a decent position. And with no defilers right now, a defiler would be critical, but defiler mound, he does have 1 defiler. He's just waiting on consume right now. Not sure if he has that yet. Defiler mound's going to go down before he might manage to produce 1 or 2 more, but I just don't think he's going to get consume in time. I'm going to see 1 more shot on the defiler mound. No. Dark Swarm does go down. I'm not quite sure if he had consume yet. They only managed to get 1 Dark Swarm down. Did take off, I think, both of those science hustles. It's very least not Light now fighting a little bit blindly, but I don't think there are that many lurkers out in the field. 2nd Dark Swarm, so I think he might have managed to consume. Research after all. I'm not even quite sure if that the fireman got taken out or not. I think the spotters were taken out, but Light's still running out with more forces to reinforce. Forcing. Oh, his medic marine force getting boxed in, but he has a couple of tanks, few Marines as well. Down on the ramp, just using those tanks to blockade anything from coming in close. Only a few Marines there waiting on him. Irradiating the Defiler as well. Oh god, Light just doing a beautiful game, doing a beautiful job of putting down the constant pressure. Some Zerg trying to come in from the back. It just Soulkey just does not have enough production overall to really do anything in this game. Light putting the constant pressure. There was that 1 single danger zone for Light while a lot of the Mulists were out in the air, but now he's lost. Long since he's lost his entire Mulist number. While he still had that, that was it. He's going to try to go for yet another attack. Going to put down the Dark Swarms. Our Firebats was Firebat in place. And when Zergus are going to manage to get very close to the tanks. Oh! Splash killing their own comrades, but the very least cleaning up the forces. More Firebats coming in to fight under Dark Swarm. Even more being produced now. And Vultures alongside as well to plant down some mines against those pesky Zerglings. But I think overall this is going to be a Light's game at this point. Just not enough. Soulkey violently fighting back every little bit, but he does have a Defiler Mound at his lower right. And that position is going to stay safe just because Light can't really focus his forces in 2 different directions at this point. Just doesn't have enough. But I think this main base is going to be rank set completely and absolutely. Most of the drones are going down. Very little mining whatsoever coming in for Soulkey. And we're probably going to be seeing a GG very soon. So unfortunately, not quite managing to run off his insane streak. There are even mines being put down. No mining here. And yeah, just Soulkey not quite managing to back up his magnificent play in the quarterfinals right up here, despite the fact that I think he did started off pretty well, but Light with very, very good pressure. And despite the early damage he took from those Mulos, still managed to fight back valiantly. He managed to plant himself outside of Soulkey's base, put down pressure, and took down those Mulos numbers, what I believe was a critical factor. Finally, GG coming in from Soulkey. I want to apologize also for the fact there's a slight, I believe very slight, maybe half a second, maybe a full second, maybe I think about half a second delay between the sound and the video. And I mean the sound in the video. And I don't know why that is, but that's the way it is. So anyway, Light coming out ahead. He's going to get the first win for MBC. About the camera. And we're going to see whether he managed to be his good old streaky self and get an all kill. It's going to be hard against a team like Woongjin, which is very deep and has players that can feel that should be able to take out a guy like Light. For instance, Quanra, who is kind of Light's weakness. We're going to see whether he's the guy they field next. But anyway, GG guys, Ranching out. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to bring you all the next set.